Oh, man. All right, folks. Well, if you're here from the last video or even the video before that, it's greatly appreciated. And make sure you're here for the next video, because they're only gonna get better with time. Ooh woo. That's good. And by good, I mean spicy. All right, let's get started. So I'm going to share with you guys my favorite holster of all time, the infamous hot dog holster. The sponsor of today's video, that's right, Sheepdog Holsters. Sheepdog Holsters, I had a need, and they met that need. And that need was the hot dog holster.
I'm a serial glizzy eater.
Sheepdog Holsters reached out to me on Instagram and said, hey, we'd like to make you a holster. I said yes. They made me a holster. I ended up loving it. I carry this. This is my church holster. But it's also my summertime / 4th of July holster. The hot dog holster cannot be beat. However, this is not my only holster from them. I do have a holster that was specifically made for Combat Solutions Group Industries. Now, Sheepdog, they make a great product. I like it. I actually use it. I've been using this for more than 6 months, and I actually like it. Sometimes people will get on the internet and show you a holster or a product that they don't actually use. Not me. I'm different. I'm built different. I actually use this. So for all your hot dog holster needs,
Pause.
click the link in the description, hit up Sheepdog Holsters. Also give them a follow on Instagram. Tell them that King Picks Media sent you. They might block you. Sheepdog Holsters. All right, so now to get into the meat and potatoes of today's videos. Diddy. Did he do it? Or did Diddy not do it?
Huh?
Join me, if you will, for Morning Scroll. All right, so many of you know Diddy has been in jail for a while now. They're not releasing him on bond. He's a flight risk. He's threatening witnesses, or has a history, or has the propensity to threaten witnesses. I believe that's the right word. Another $1 million word. He's been in jail for a long time. However, his trial just started. They just wrapped the first 5 days of testimony. Now, the first 5 days of testimony has been just one person, and that's Cassie Ventura. You guys know, well, some of you might not know, but they were in a relationship, on again, off again, doing a lot of crazy stuff. I'm not gonna lie, it's weird. It's weird. Now, there's no secret that weird stuff goes on. Once you get to a certain threshold, once you get to a certain dollar sign or a certain status level with these people, things get weird. And I'll tell you now, you never saw Michael Jordan at a Diddy party.
Hey, everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
That is why he's the best. So I pulled up some of the witness list. Now, it's been 5 days. There's only been one witness. And so far, honestly, a lot of the stuff that's been presented, it's not racketeering. I'll tell you that. So the charges brought against him, he's got racketeering, trafficking. I think there's some abuse charges or some other stuff as well. But so far what's been brought up, a lot of the consensual stuff, like, now, don't get me wrong, consensual doesn't mean it wasn't crazy. It doesn't mean it wasn't crazy. But a lot of the consensual stuff and non-consensual stuff that was alleged has been brought up from Cassie. But I'm more interested to see what the witness list looks like. So today I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna take a look at the witness list and see what's on the docket for this man, because he refused to take the plea deal. He hasn't harmed himself. So I don't know, we'll take a look. Outside of Cassie being the number one witness, or the first witness, it looks like Don Richard, a pop singer and former member of Danity Kane, is also a witness. Apparently she had already testified. Okay, I think she already testified, or she might be in the midst of her testification. She's in the middle of her testification. But then there's 3 anonymous female accusers. I don't know what role they played in the whole scheme or the whole alleged freak-offs or freak parties or whatever they were doing. But then outside of that, there's Daniel Phillip, Israel Flores, and then there's a random hotel security guard, and then a random, it just says male sex worker. That's quite the docket to testify against someone, especially being that we're only on the second witness testimony after 5 days. It looks like a lot of these guys, so you've got a random male sex worker, but then you have Daniel Phillip, who's a stripper. A lot of them are involved in sex work. I don't know. The whole thing is really weird, and I think it's going to get a whole lot weirder. I honestly think it's going to get a whole lot weirder, and I'm ready for it. I'm ready to see what happens. Granted, I also don't care because, like many of you, I'm employed, but not gonna lie, it's very entertaining. If you would have told me in the late 90s, when I was that young high school student, if you would have told me that in the year of our Lord 2025, I would be living a better life than P. Diddy, I wouldn't believe you. Now that's in the late 90s. Here we are. Here we are. I'm not a millionaire. I don't have hit records. I'm not in the club popping bottles. I'm living better than Diddy. Let that sink in.
Let him cook.
All right, so the next topic. Now, I was debating on whether mashing these two together or not, but I figure it's probably better that I just put them together because time is of the essence. So yesterday, I woke up, started my morning routine, do my walk, my pull-ups, my push-ups, squats, this and that, take out my phone and scroll while I'm walking, and I realized that I'm seeing a lot of stuff regarding Silencer Central. And I had to ask the question. I asked it, I posted on Twitter, I said, what's the story? What's this whole Silencer Central debacle? Apparently, over the last, I don't know, however many years, they've been lobbying, and when you lobby, you have to fill out a form. Well, when filling out that form, what the verbiage said, I don't think it's what they meant. I do have it saved here. So I did discuss it in the stream last night, and I was able to access or bring up the actual lobbying form. Right now, there's a lot of question marks on this, but I did some research after reading the lobbying form that really threw me off. So this is a lobbying form. This is from 2024, and under line number 16, where you highlight your specific lobbying issues, it says develop and support suppressor tax stamp conservation legislation. Now, there's two schools of thoughts behind this, because the word conservation, is it to conserve current legislation, or is it for wildlife legislation? I would argue that in filling out this form, if your intent was indeed to support wildlife conservation, you throw that word wildlife in there just before conservation, there's no doubt what you're here for. However, you leave that word, gosh, you're an idiot. You leave the word wildlife out and it just says conservation. Now it's up to the public to decide. And let me tell you, the public has decided, and it's not looking good. Think about it. That one word, wildlife, can take your sales from this to this.
Let him cook.
I did look into that, and I'm playing both sides of the ball. I'm playing devil's advocate. I do think that someone dropped the ball here, whether it be dropped the ball in support of the ATF or dropped the ball in that they didn't note that it's wildlife conservation rather than conservation of current laws. Either way, if I'm Silencer Central, at this point, I have to release a statement. They have to have responded. They have to have said something. The only statement provided, I found a statement on their Instagram, which personally, if this is what it is, I would offer a statement and say, hey guys, the word conservation on line 16 of our lobbying form is in reference to wildlife conservation. We want to divert the funds from the ATF and the whole NFA thing. We want to divert those to wildlife conservation. I would come out and say that immediately, and I would say it a lot. However, on Instagram, nothing. There's nothing indicating what exactly they meant. They're just saying, hey, we support the Second Amendment. We support the rights of our clientele. You got to get behind this and you got to clean it up. So the only statement released from them, Silencer Central has consistently and publicly stated our strong support for enactment of the Hearing Protection Act, Additionally, we strongly support any viable legislative proposals. Sorry, I was public school, guys. Public school. Proposals which would enhance and expand the ability of our customers to exercise their constitutional right to purchase, possess, and legally use suppressors. We are not lobbying against the HBA. You have to say more than that. I went to their website. I didn't see any more than this. I went to their YouTube channel. Didn't see any more than this. And of course, their Instagram. You have to highlight your specific intent with what you meant. Because, and you guys, for those of you who've seen my stream, you know, whether it's on the left or on the right, people are stubborn. And once people get the idea in their head, once that ball gets rolling, well, it ain't gonna slow down until it falls off the cliff. Or I don't know where I was going with that, but you know the thing, you get it. All right, best way to support the channel, head over to kingpixmedia.com, click the merch drop down link. I have everything from fanny packs to combat hoodies and everything in between. Be sure to hop in the Discord. Discord is where I get a majority of the content that I stream, whether it's posts from X, whether it's memes, whether it's guns, or if it's just a trauma dump from when you were a child. I compile all of that, and that is what provides the content for these videos, for Morning Scroll, and for the Twitch stream. So, with that being said, I would love to stay and talk, but I got some stuff I gotta do. See you guys.